Came up from 900,000 to just 1 million. He couldn't get past that. They wanted to ask everyone for a best and final offer by the end of this week. Is there anything you could do as far as coming up on purchase price at 1.4, 1.4 and a half, and also got the listing on that for 1.5 million total. So 2 listings. I think I mentioned earlier in this video, I did move to Tampa, Florida, so this is the new apartment. So we have officially 6 deals under contract. To the next episode of Deals Commercial Real Estate Series. So a couple new updates to the life. I did actually move to a new apartment here in downtown Tampa. So I am now officially a Floridian outside of New York City for good. This episode, we're gonna get kicked off in this next scene where I'm going to be calling the Kansas City, Missouri listing I have called Blue Hills Mobile Home Park. I did anticipate some offers, but I think we have a handful now that we don't actually need to do a call for offers date because a few of the main players in the space that actually own parks right nearby have offered $1 million. We need to get them to 1.2 million. Sellers are asking for 1.3, but 1.2 is really the number. I think I might be able to get it done at 1.1, and I think that's more than fair for the property. So we're gonna get that going. Without further ado, let's just get into it and let's get right into that call. I'll kind of make it short and sweet and give you just an overview. Pretty much everyone wanted to stay where they were at. The only one that came up was Clinton Grimm, and he's the one that I thought was the better buyer of the bunch. He came up from 900,000 to just 1 million. He couldn't get past that, but he did up his down payment from 25% to 30%.
Okay.
Now I got 2 other offers. One of them is from the owner of Autumn Falls Mobile Home and RV Park in Independence.
Yeah, well, you know where that? I'll look that up. You know, I went by the guy that you told me about. That's over really in Sugar Creek. That didn't want to because he hates the city of Independence.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one's Autumn Falls. It's a little bit south from where Blue Hills is. But They came in at $1 million. I think they have room to come up to 1.1, maybe stretch to 1.2. But they are, in my opinion, probably the front runners. They just bought a park that's like 120 sites on the Kansas side of Kansas City. And they're infilling that currently, so they've been actively ordering big blocks of new homes.
And they know the area very well, it sounds like.
Yeah, so that, like, to me, in my head, they're the ones leading it. They've been super engaged, too. I was speaking with them all through the week. Their guy already drove the park and everything, so they've been moving very, like, active on it. And then aside from that, I have one guy who's out of California. He has a park down in Arizona, but his partner's in Belton, Missouri. And he wrote an offer at 1.1, but I'm on the fence whether 1, they haven't seen the park, 2, I'm not sure if their experience is that vast as far as like infilling a turnaround type park, so I'm not too sure how credible they are as buyers, so I'm still digging into them. Yeah, I think we should go back to them, get a best and final, and let them know like, hey, you guys are like neck and neck, so if you guys want to come away with it, we're gonna need you to get up on price. Because they're both in line with the terms that you guys want. Clinton Grimm being the extra 5% on the down payment, but I think the terms aren't as important. It's really the purchase price and their ability to execute on this.
Yeah. I mean, more down payment's better. Yeah. It's always better, but I don't want the thing back anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why to me, I'm like, all right, if these guys are already ordering homes, they own a community down the street, they've already driven the park, to me that says like, hey, they're serious about this.
Very positive. It's very serious. Yeah, I love that. That's great. Get with those 2 and tell them, hey, we got 2 different people that are ready to go, and we think you need to bump your numbers up just a little bit.
Okay. All right. I'll give them a ring now. I'll give me till Wednesday to get back to you, and then yeah, I'll see what they want, if they want to write up a best and final, if they have any additional questions.
Sounds good. That'd be great.
Yeah, so I just had a long discussion with the sellers for Blue Hills. So pretty much there's you and 2 other interested parties in the deal. They wanted to ask everyone for a best and final offer by the end of this week. Is there anything you could do as far as coming up on purchase price at all if we move the terms around?
In what way on the terms?
Maybe if you went lower down payment and maybe a 6-year term, but then came up on price. So 1.2 is the number that they really want to hit. I think 1.1 gets it done. They're more concerned with the purchase price and are willing to get more flexible on the terms if it gets them up there.
Obviously, we flip. So yeah, if you can get me in this thing, I'll guarantee you the relist on it. So we'll be relisting it. Probably something like this. We can probably get it done in about 18 months.
Okay.
Depending on weather. So all right. So you think
if we front load this on the sales price, we'll be a little more flexible on the terms.
Yeah.
Give me 24 hours to work on it. I'll get you something. Get you something written tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you, Clinton.
All right, buddy. See you.
Bye.
Going to be somewhere in a 7 to 7.5% interest rate with the banks.
Correct. Yep.
So the park's going to need to trade at least at a 7 cap plus to make sense.
So to not bore you guys with what's going on in this exact clip, pretty much I'm doing a proposal call of an underwriting for a smaller community, but this guy owns multiple parks. What ultimately did come from this is I underwrote this smaller 22 unit, $650,000 deal that we got the listing for. And then he also had me underwrite his other property that he had an offer from his partner to buy him out at 1.1 million. I ended up underwriting it to around 1.4, 1.4 and a half, and also got the listing on that for 1.5 million total. So 2 listings, 650K, 1.5 million. We are actually, fast forward to the future, guys. This is a couple months later. I'm actually editing this. We are under contract at full asking price 1.5 on the one of them. Now, Clinton Grimm. And he was who I felt strongest ahead of time. What he said he could do is he'll go to 1.1 million, raise his down payment to 30%. He wants to do 5% interest rate year 1, 6% years 2 and 3, and he'll also do the balloon at the end of year 3 rather than 5 years.
So what's the deal with 5%? Okay.
I think, yeah, so the 5% for year 1 is because he's going to be putting a lot of the capital into the park year 1, so he's trying to keep his payments as low as possible then. And then just to go with what you guys were countering at, the 6% for year 2 and 3. I think the biggest thing with him is that, so Clinton Grimm does giant turnaround parks. He's been on every like big mobile home park guys podcast, like the Frank Wolf podcast and everything. Like turnaround deals is what he does. His plan is to get this turned around and sold in 18 to 24 months.
Wow. Okay.
Now, he wants 3 years because in case the market takes a dive for the next year, he just wants a little bit of buffer, but he said he'll definitely get it done before 5 years, and that's why he'll ride up at 3. I think what's beneficial about that is, one, you get your money sooner.
Well, we still have a lot of real estate in that park town.
Yeah.
So if the park is improved, that helps all those stuff we have that we still own around there.
Yeah. One thing I would say, even if we're going to run with his offer, I'm still going to quietly keep pushing the park to other buyers, because I do still have a handful of people interested. No one's talking like they're in the 1-1 range though. People keep talking to me like 800, 900K. But I still want to keep it out there because I know Clinton Grimm hasn't seen the park himself. So that's where I'm thinking, all right, let me keep our other options open while we're waiting for him to get his contract ready. And I think what I tell him is, while you get the contract ready, we'd like for you to go out and see the park first, because we don't want to end up getting in due diligence, wasting our time with the title company and attorneys if you're just going to end up retrading us anyways once you see it.
Right.
So yeah, if you're good with that, I'll let him know we're good to go, start working on the contract, but with the expectation he needs to see the park before we go to contract.
Right. Then we want him to physically go see it and look at it and make sure he's happy.
Yeah.
Understands what he needs to do to turn it around.
I'll get back to him today, and then I'll get him to start working on the contract, and I'll figure out some dates he's going to fly out there and come see it. And if you guys want to meet him too, just so you know who he is, I can always line that up too. Stand by. I'll have some dates for you soon, and we'll get him working on the contract.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you, Armand.
Thank you, Joe. All right, guys, so I'm taking you along on a pool day on a nice Saturday with my special guest, Madison Weldon, my beautiful girlfriend. Say hi to the real estate people. Anyways, if you haven't already noticed, I think I mentioned it earlier in this video, I did move to Tampa, Florida, so this is the new apartment. Very nice. I'll give a tour eventually, but on the way up to the pool, I'll give you guys a few updates on a few of the deals and what's kind of going on, give an overview, because I do have, I think, 6 parks under contract, but I did actually lose one of the big listings that I've kind of been, well, not lose a listing, but it's on hold right now because we didn't get the price the seller wants, purely because of market conditions. He's happy with us, but yeah, let's get out there. So the update since our last video, Blue Hills Mobile Home Park, you guys just heard the call to that in the last scene. Offer accepted at 1.1 million with 3-year seller financing for that. Out of the blue, I did have this old listing in North Carolina that was about 110 units. That's going under contract. Just totally random. I just pinged the seller and the buyer to see if they want to take another stab at it, so we're there. Connor Creek, you guys have known about that, 65 lots in Asheville, North Carolina. Felicity Estates, that's one of the 2 Ohio listings I had. Under contract, due diligence just ended, so we should be closing on that probably in the next month and a half. Another old listing that I just kind of brought out of the woodwork is Stevens Mill Village, 25 lots in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and Willow Springs, 35 lots in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Another one out of the woodwork. Got it done. So we have officially 6 deals under contract. I would not be surprised if I do get one more, potentially in Eastern Ohio, that I've been marketing to. Not sure if I included that in the vlog, but things are turning around. We are under the shade because it just started raining, but now it's sunny again. Should we go back out to the sun? So one thing I'm going to start including on every single video, if you do comment questions, hopefully within each next video, I'll try and answer one of them. And this is about a month ago on actually the first episode of bringing this season back. Tyler asked, just getting started my real estate license, a little curious how you were able to work nationwide and bounce around to different states. I thought licenses are only valid in one state. Real jealous of your lifestyle. Thank you, appreciate that, Tyler. Looking to bounce around as well versus being stuck in one state forever. So in commercial real estate, usually you're focusing on an asset class that's nationwide rather than localized properties. Now, there are commercial guys that are local specialists, but for the most part, the large property guys, they specialize within 1 or 2 asset classes nationwide. The way you do that is you're typically licensed in one state. It'd be better off if you're licensed in most because you don't have to pay this essential fee. But what you do is you run your property transactions through a thing called a broker of record that is licensed in that state. Pretty much it's like a co-broker agreement that gives you still operating allowance, so to speak, but it runs it through their brokerage first just to keep everything on the up and up. One that's commonly used in the commercial real estate space is called JDS Services. They're licensed in I think like 15 or 16 states, and we use them for mostly all of them, but you could just use any brokerage that's familiar with broker of record terms, and they could typically run your deal through theirs. Usually we pay them around 5 to 10% of the total gross fee. So like if it's in Florida, it's obviously more beneficial because I don't have to pay 10%, and of course we're getting rained on. So as I was saying, to conclude that, we pay a broker of record usually around 10% of the gross fee if we're not licensed in that state. One thing with commercial real estate, some transactions get done through like wholesaling rather than brokering deals, so you don't need a license for that. I typically only broker, but a lot of people middleman deals that way too. Totally different thing. I should break that down in a different video, but Tyler, thank you for commenting, and if anyone else wants to comment in this video, I'll try and get that answered by the next one. And everyone, thank you to Maddie for recording.
Like and subscribe. Buy Pasta Slut merch.
Buy Pasta Slut merch. All right, so in this next clip, I have a park in the southeast section of Ohio in a town called Belper. The park's called Camelot West. I have an offer at $1.3 million with 25% down seller financing. The seller of the community wants 1.4, but we're pretty much like right there, about to have the offer signed. So I'll let you guys listen in. Hopefully we can get this resolved and moving forward. Hey Lisa, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I am doing good.
So I just ran some numbers around or whatever, and I'm good with Abraham. I still reserve the right. I want to do background checks and see if it's financial of some sort or something. Okay.
Okay.
But do you think he'll go 1330?
Yeah, just to bridge the 30K. Yeah, so I was actually gonna say when we talked today, let me just try and get him to put up the extra 30K, just so that way you're still getting the same net amount. I think he won't give up the deal for 30K, so let me give him a call and.
Right. Now listen. He is paying you 5%. The only reason I'm doing that is because I want him to have, to 30% in on the deal. I just want him to make good on it in 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is he paying you 5%?
Yes.
And that will be on the HUD.
Yeah, you'll see that in the HUD. What did you think he was like doing like a more of a fee or something like? I was just arguing. Yeah, I was arguing for Abraham just because I felt like I gave him the verbal okay already. There isn't like more fee I get with him or the other guy. So if you wanted to go with the other guy too.
I don't want him going and negotiating down a fee. I could co-broke and negotiate down.
Yeah.
Because the idea is I want him to have as much skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? I want you paid. You know what the hell? I do deals every day and I get paid. I want paid. You know? All right, thanks. Bye.
Abraham, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Armand?
I am doing good. All right, so this Camelot West thing, and dude, I have to like preface this. It got so effed up because one of the other buyers, and I got to give you a backstory, but you got to believe me on this. Like, I feel like this sounds like a bullshit story, but it's not.
All right, bring it on.
So I let the other offers know that we moved forward with an offer, and then thought I had another chance to counter, and I could show you like the email string, so you know I'm not bullshitting you, because this feels just like a scummy situation from my end. That's why I'm like all over the place on it. I let him know like, hey, we went with another offer. It was different price, different terms. I didn't tell him what it was or anything. And then he says, what do you mean? We could hit the seller's asking at 1.4 with 30% down if she could pay the fee. And then he responds on email with the seller copied on it with an LOI at 1.4, 30% down. Now, this is where it gets complicated, because I tell the seller's like, what's this offer? I thought you said everyone else was at this, and this is what Abraham's at. And then I let her know, like, no, like, gave everyone a chance for best and final. Abraham's offer is where he's at. So I told her, like, we really should go with Abraham, yada, yada. And then she just called me back, and she wanted me to go back to you and try and get you to hit the 1.4, 30% down, and she's paying 5%. What I told her was, if you're really going to be like this and stuck on it, I'd rather Abraham just comes up the 30K on the purchase price and we still do the fee separate.
This isn't our first rodeo. You know, we've seen this same pattern before. Okay, what does it take? Tell us what you need. Let's either do it or not. But we'll let Abraham and I talk about it for a minute.
All right, guys, that is the end of the vlog. I apologize. I have not been around to make a lot of these recently. I've just been busy with work and a lot of things going on in the business. Now, before you guys click off, if any of you are interested in getting into commercial real estate, becoming a commercial real estate agent, or you're an investor who's looking for more off-market deals, I did re-release my 100% free ebook, The Ultimate Deal Sourcing Guide for Commercial Real Estate. It's 36 pages detailing my exact step-by-step process that I've used to sell, source, and close over $100 million worth of commercial real estate deals. Link is in the description below. Like I said, it's 100% free. I guarantee this is the best resource you can find that teaches you how to source off-market direct-to-seller commercial real estate deals. These principles apply in every single asset class: office buildings, multifamily, mobile home parks, retail, triple net, literally anything you could think of. These processes work, and I guarantee you'll have multiple off-market deals direct to seller within 30 days. Check that out, links in the bio. If you guys are interested in seeing more of these vlogs, more educational content, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.